BBC reported that US and Israel was behind the Stuxnet attack. Another is IMF. They have also reported that sophisticated attacks happening in their infrastructure. Now, why? This is not just news I'm sharing with you, right? This is not only perceptions, it's reality. Why it is important? That it is important that it is targeted to a public and government infrastructure. Now, let's talk about SCADA. This is very, very important for any infrastructure, public infrastructure, government infrastructure. Supervisory control and data acquisition. It is actually driven by PLC. You have a physical infrastructure communicated to the logical infrastructure. Then it is designed, if anybody can cripple down that infrastructure, it is actually the cyber warfare that is going on. It is better to have an attack on government infrastructure from the cyber criminal's perspective, then it can cripple down the economy of a country, right? Now, this is very, very important that I'm just SCADA infrastructure is very important for government perspective. Let's talk about what is Stuxnet. Stuxnet was discovered in 2010, and it looks for a file, a DLL file used by Siemens ONCC system. And in most of the cases, you will find that application that they have designed a malware which actually gets activated when it gets the Siemens systems in this infrastructure. Now, suspected that the Stuxnet was designed to target the uranium enrichment of Iranian plant that the countries, the other countries can see they should not have the weapons, right? Nuclear weapons, right? It is from that perspective, probably it is good. The malware is designed to cripple down Iranian nuclear weapons plant. Thus, from that perspective, it is good. Another advanced persistent attack, which is flame. Now, there is no correlation between this direct correlation between Stuxnet and flame, but one thing is very, very important. If you just check the last line, this SCADA system but linked to the Stuxnet because it targeted Middle East. That means Stuxnet was targeted to Middle East, and this flame was also targeted to the Middle East. Let's talk about the threat landscape. The threat landscape, the threat scenario is changing over the years. And today, in 2013, all the threats still there. But today we are fighting with some advanced targeted attacks, which is basically now the motive of the attacks that has changed. They are now more personal. That means for normal anti-malware or normal malware is created to actually make a disaster to your infrastructure. But today's scenario is something different. They don't want, the cyber criminal doesn't want to cripple your infrastructure. They want to steal information for their financial requirement. They want to make money out of it, right? And this is targeted and visible, and it's very advanced. And another difference between this traditional security, traditional solution attacks and this advanced persistent is, previously it was one to many. That means there is a virus, you have to create a signature. The signature, the service provider, the anti-malware provider, they will give a signature to all the people they're using, their customers, they're using their solution. But in this case, it is one-to-one. It is very, very customized for a specific organization, specific person, and targeted to a high-level people, which is enriched employee of the organization. Now, let's talk about this one example of how actually it happens, right? Theoretically, I can talk, this is how it happens, that this thing is believing what social engineering is happening. RSA was breached. Everybody, you know that it was breached. Being a security company, their secure ID was stolen. And how it happened, just let's have a look. This has happened, let's say the HR of the organization received a mail that it mails contains an Excel sheet, Excel file attachment. It is a recruitment plan. Now, what is there in that Excel attachment? What you will do, you will click into it, then it will open the Excel file, but here is a payload into that file. What is that payload is? It is invisible. You will not see. You will see the normal, the data is there, this is the plan is here, but there is a payload in that file. That file will have Adobe Flash 0-day exploit into it. That is very, very important. This is social engineered, and this is targeting to a vulnerability which is 0-day vulnerability. And that cyber criminal will create that malware to exploit that vulnerability to the specific person. This is how this happens. Now, if that person is exploited first, now then what are the chain action happens in this infrastructure? First, this malicious mail, he has received the mail, now it actually exploits the vulnerability, then there is the point of entry now, and this malware, what it will do, it will not do anything else. What it will do, it will just create a channel to the command and control center. The cyber criminal is sitting there. After that, this is not enough. My job is done. That guy cyber criminal has got the control over there. Now he will start the lateral movement in the infrastructure. That means, let's say that machine he was intruded, somehow it has got formatted. But the cyber criminal doesn't want to lose the contact with the organization. What he wants, he actually have a lateral movement, and he wants to manage the infrastructure. This is the recommendation, the normal anatomy profile of advanced persistent attack by Gartner. What they have done, this first is the intelligence gathering. Intelligence gathering, how it happens, it is something like terrorist attacks, right? Terrorist attacks happens, before that attack happens, they do a recce of the location. Same thing, first they will do the intelligence gathering through LinkedIn, all the social media, LinkedIn, Facebook and all. What is the interest area? Probably you have got interest in photography. Now the cyber criminal will try to understand from your social media that you are interested in photography. He will send a document to you. Canon has launched a new camera with this functionality. But you are there. Once you get the document, you will just click into it. Now what is there in between is an exploit with a PDF exploit into it. Now you don't know that he has got the malware into it. Second phase is first point of entry, the cyber criminal has got. Second is then, third option is this what has happened? Yeah, next is, then is the command and control center communication, right? That this command and control center, he will now take the control of the machine and will start lateral movement. Once lateral movement is there, he will try to do a port scanning and all to find the actual data of interest. He doesn't want to get the data something else which it doesn't require. He is looking for data which actually gives the money to you. It will go to a data center, then it will start communicating to the command and control center and uploading all data to the cyber criminal. This is the actual advanced targeted attack happens, and this is very, very customized. This is the challenge is the traditional security console. What happens is AV just normal standard anti-malware, right? AV doesn't work with APT. Why? As I have told you, that this advanced persistent attack is very targeted and very customized for a specific person. It is not one to many, right? It is one to one. Second is, you have got a perimeter security, you have got firewalls, IPS and everything. These are all important, but it is not enough. Why? It will open a port. Let's say that communication channel is from internal network to the outside world the cyber criminal is sitting. It is not an outside-in attack, it is inside-out attack, right? Your traffic is flowing, the session is created by the user itself, it is going to the command and control center. Now your firewall doesn't know, there is a policy written in the firewall that internal to external is allowed, HTTP traffic is allowed, right? SMTP is allowed. Third is, organizations don't know they are being targeted because it is so stealthy. It just happens. There is a data that normally one APT attack happens, the normal time to detect that problem is 210 days. Now that attack is there in your infrastructure for 210 days. This is again a challenge. What Gartner recommends for that? Let me share that. This first statement is very, very important. There is no silver bullet to mitigate APT. That means if there is an APT attack, I cannot give one medicine, one tablet to you. Okay, you have the APT, this is the tablet and done. No. What you need to have? You need to have strategy view to protect against APT. The strategic approach is very, very important. Shut down your low-hanging vulnerabilities. Low-hanging vulnerabilities is in your data center, in your endpoints, wherever it is possible, that you don't get exploited by the vulnerabilities, right? Another is network-based advanced threat detection and prevention. Unless and until you have that network-based threat detection and prevention, it will not help you stop that. This is the Gartner's recommendation. Gartner has launched a document probably in 2012, right? They have given a recommendation, best practice mitigation of APT. This is another important part is the incident response. Incident response is again very, very important. That means if you can detect an attack is happening, how fast you can resolve the problem and what are the process you need to follow to solve the problem. As it is a custom defense needs a custom attack needs a custom defense, right? How we can help here? This is first process, the strategy should be first detect. You should have the mechanism which can detect zero-day vulnerabilities, which the normal anti-malware cannot do, right? Second is analyze. If I detect some malicious content, then I need to have analysis on premise in my infrastructure. Second then is adopt, that if I have got something malicious, how do I adopt that? How do I fight against that? And fourth option is respond. If I can identify the problem, probably your existing anti-malware solution will help you out, but you need to know how fast I can resolve the problem. That means if you have to detect, you need to analyze the threat and you need to adopt that security strategy and you need to respond very fast. Then the same kind of attack doesn't happen next time. Let's say like example, 95% as on today, I don't know what will happen tomorrow. Cyber criminals, they're smarter enough. They will do something other options to find out. As on today, 95% attacks via spear phishing. Now, if the mail is the main channel of launching an attack, APT attack, how to resolve, how Trend Micro can help you out in this. Let's say you have received a mail here. It will go through your mail gateway and it should get a copy of your advisor, which will send that malicious content, which will have a sandboxing technology which can find out the zero-day vulnerabilities. And once it is found that this file is malicious or previously suspected, it will be in the quarantine in the mail. It will not go to the end user. That means you can solve one problem. If it is not delivered to the end user, then you can solve your problem. That means your mail security should have intelligence which can handle APT technologies, right? In conjunction with, you have got some analysis technology built into your infrastructure, which will be having a sandboxing. Second option is, all APT attacks requires a command and control center communication. As I have told, you will have. Now, I have got one problem that it is not dropped, somehow it is missed, then all communication channels should be stopped. How we can stop this? This is a communication is happening from internal to external world, then I should have intelligence that this machine is communicating to a command and control center. My global threat intelligence should know that this is the server, this is the IP address which has got a bad reputation, and if it is some machine is communicating to the mail that specific IP address, the channel should be blocked. You should have that functionality to block that communication. If you can block that, this is another strategy, right, to solve this problem. Another is detection alone is insufficient, right? You need to have protection strategy, how to do that. This is actually some malware is getting delivered to your endpoint. Now we need to have anti-malware functionality to your endpoints. This is I call it is something like a paracetamol in case of fever. It can be a viral fever, it can be a infectious fever, but you need to have paracetamol to get down your temperature. Anti-malware at the endpoint is just a basic hygiene factor. You need to have that. And second is, you need to have the functionality which can actually stop the vulnerabilities. In your data center, a lot of servers are there. And all servers have applications, and you don't know what kind of vulnerabilities, all the open vulnerabilities are there in the data center. You need to have functionality, solutions, technologies which can shield the vulnerability of the data center servers, right? It is actually the holistic approach. You need to have detection of the attacks, advanced persistent attack. Second is, you need to have vulnerability shielding technology in the data centers, and you need to have comprehensive endpoint security solution in your infrastructure. Now, Trend Micro has a solution which is called Deep Discovery. What it does, as per the strategy, it detects the Deep Discovery inspector who detects the solution. We analyze, we have got Deep Discovery advisor with a customized sandboxing, it can analyze all these things. Second is adopt the custom security IP domain blacklisting. We can do. We have got every signature updates which is coming soon, that automatically it will update the anti-malware signature and can solve the problem automatically. And then response, you need to have a SOC kind of scenario, how fast we can respond and solve the problem as fast as we know, right? Analysis, this is my last slide to talk about that. It is not my recommendation. All analysts, what they say. This is very, very important. What is the strategy they have asked to take this? The Neil MacDonald, who is the VP of Gartner, he said, we must assume we will be compromised and must have better detection capabilities in place that provide visibility as when this type of breach occurs. That means visibility is very, very important. That though all this advanced persistent attacks are very stealthy. Now, what Gartner, Forrester, and ESG said, everybody has said all the same things. Use a network threat monitoring tool. Then Forrester says, use network analysis and visibility tool. And ESG says, use the threat monitoring intelligence. That means you need to have all layered security approach, what you have from your firewall, IPS, anti-malware, everything. You need to have visibility solution which can stop, which can detect and prevent the infrastructure, right, from an advanced persistent attack. And this is very, very relevant for government organizations. Your infrastructure is so huge and you are public facing most of the time, then it is very, very important to know that how to solve that problem. And we are here to solve your problem if it is